Welcome people of the World Wide Web. So it's Cypher Sigma, and as usual it's the weekend, and you know this is the movie review for Bob Marley or One Love. So I'll put the movie poster up here. So anyone who doesn't know, this is a kind of this is a movie chronicling Bob Marley's life, or a specific part of his life, with a few bits thrown in, and obviously the impact he had on Jamaica and the world in general with his music and his messages. The trailer kind of gives a good accurate description of the film. There isn't too much up. There are a few twists and turns in it. So I'm not the biggest Bob Marley fan. I like some of his music, but I've, having seen Rocket Man and a few other ones like this, I was very intrigued to go see this film. So I went along. There's nothing after the credits or anything like that. There is a little bit at the end which explains real stuff that does happen and stuff like that. And I thought it was an alright, it was a solid, okay movie for my views. It's probably not something I would rush back to see again, or even own. In all fairness, but that's just me. So I will stick the spoiler warning up, and we shall get into it, obviously. So, as I said, this is the movie review of Bob Marley's One Love. The movie, I believe, is 1 hour and 44 minutes in total with credits. Obviously, it starts Bob Marley near the end of his life, or in the 70s. So I believe he passed away in the early 80s. So you only have like a very small span of his life. He is quite popular in Jamaica and stuff, and he's trying to unite Jamaica by doing a concert, and this is where the movie starts. Unfortunately, some people break into his house, shoot him, shoot his friend, shoot his wife, and then he basically retreats around Europe, trying to write new music and trying to come up with a new message. So you have him in the studio, and you have his manager and stuff like this, and you have his kind of group of friends that are always around him and kind of what they do. But under the core of it, there always is kind of like this politics message. This seems to be the main focus of this. I say the movie, you kind of have it, from Bob in the mid-70s. You have a few flashbacks to when he was younger, to kind of who his dad was, or this kind of symbolic kind of feeling of his dad. And obviously he goes on tour and does this during this tour, and obviously him promoting his message, he obviously gets an infection in his toe, and this is where he realises he's got a unique form of cancer, unfortunately, and then obviously it kind of culminates in this. He's going to do this one show, bring all the people of Jamaica back together, and the politicians and stuff, and unite them, which he does. And then there's a little bit of message afterwards about what he went on to do, and then unfortunately passes away a few years after the movie, or the part of his life that this movie depicts. So overall, like, really good casting, really good the setup and stuff like this, how it. Or the setup, I say, like the background, the scenery, how it's filmed, stuff like this. It's all good. For me, I don't want to negate the premise of this movie, that it is there for Bob, and not knowing obviously much about Bob Marley or his music or anything, I didn't realise he had such a political influence and stuff like this, or how popular. For me, I wanted this to be more about the story of him. Learning how he was brought up, what he went through to bring him to the point of where he is such a powerful figure, to follow this journey. And you don't really get that. You kind of get, this is the end bit of his journey with a few little dot backs. And for me, I thought there was a little bit of a shame. I'm not dissing on the movie, but for me, I'd say, like with other ones that we've seen, where like Elvis and stuff like this, you have the whole story of them growing up as a kid, and you have enough time with them. Now maybe this director wanted to keep this under 2 hours, so he wanted to keep it short and focus on this and the politic point, because that was what he was known for, which I didn't know about until this, which he got across. But for me, it lacked points, is you didn't get to know as much about him, you kind of were thrown in that there's people trying to shoot him and kill him. You know, he is his music. He's very popular, and like you're already, it's literally like going, this is a new superstar, a new celebrity to follow. Great, you want to learn more about him, but you get little bits, but you don't get a lot. And obviously having the end bit of its story, I feel you needed more. You know, you probably could have had a 20-minute, another half an hour, and have at the beginning learning how he became who he was, because you only get to see bits. You only get to see, like, as I say, him as a kid, him with the Wailing Wailers, and their kind of very first record edition. But between kind of that, him meeting his wife, and him kind of being born and with his mother in 1 or 2 scenes, that's it. You know, the first probably like 20 odd years, 25 years of his life is probably summed up in like 5 minutes, maybe 10 minutes of the film, which, yeah, I mean, I missed. I wanted to learn more about him, which there is a little bit on IMDb and stuff that's interesting to go away and see. Obviously, as I say, the music, I'm not his biggest fan. Like with Elvis, I'm not his biggest fan, and enjoyed his music. Same, I enjoyed the music in this, but it's not something I think there was maybe one song when he, around the Exodus album, that I quite liked. I'd never really heard of, like I may go and search out, but for me, it's just, you know, it's not the music I necessarily gravitate towards. Not saying it's bad music, that's it, you know. I think Exodus was one of the biggest selling singles or albums of that time. You know, the actors that play it and stuff like that, Bob has a lot of kind of unique, not necessarily mannerisms, but the way he dances and stuff, and the main bloke who did a good enough job. I must admit, when I look at him and look at pictures of Bob Marley, to me they look like 2 different people. They don't look like that, whereas with like Elvis and stuff, I can kind of see they have that kind of image, and it may be that maybe for whatever reason he was probably the best actor to play him, and did a good job. You know, I don't have anything bad to say about any of the actors or actresses in this. I think, you know, it is a good solid film from start to finish, and it has this politics part, and that's what it is. And for me, it's without the personal side of things and getting a bit more to know him, for me it brought the movie down a little bit. But anyway, so I would rate this 6.4 out of 10. You know, it's a really good solid movie. If you like it, even if you're interested in it, definitely go and watch it and enjoy it, and you probably would enjoy it. It's not the great, I say, it's a good movie to watch. It's not something I think you'd revisit unless you're a big Bob Marley fan and stuff like this. It's interesting to know it. I think the politics side, the film, if it was structured a little bit better, could have made that a bit more powerful, because I say, even the story builds up to a concert, like in kind of Eddie Murphy's one, and you had that concert, you don't even get that in concert. He only has a few performances within and out it. But it is what it is. Have you seen the movie Bob Marley One Love? Let me know in the comments down below what you thought, if you agree, disagree with my opinion. As I said, it's my opinion, so, you know, I'm not saying I'm right, it's just my views on things. I've been Cypher Signal Screen Time. I hope you enjoyed the review and the video, and I shall see you in the next one.